Okay, hi everyone. So today we are going to record the second group discussion video and every group member are present today. So first we are going to introduce ourselves first. So my name is Tan Xin Yi with metric number 206557 and the next one will be Go Eiling.
My name is Go Eiling and my matrix number is 205425.
The next one will be Tan Jiamin.
My name is Tan Jamin and my matric number is 205453.
The next one will be Shavin.
My name is Arvin and my matrix number is 207460.
The next one will be Chan Wan Hua.
My name is Chan Wan Hua and my metric number is 207198.
The next one will be Lo Li Chi.
Hello everyone, my name is Lo Li Chi. My matrix number is 206476.
The next one will be Wan Wai Teng.
My name is Wan Wai Ting. My matrix number is 206512.
Okay, the last one will be Hari.
Hello guys, my name is Hari and my matrix number is 205664.
So the self-introduction from our group members is finished. So now we are going to share our first sessions in our news publication, Putra News, which is health sessions. So is there anyone volunteer to share their news first?
Yes, I would like to share first. Now I'm going to talk about the news in the title is Red Meat Back on the Menu, which is written by James Gallagher, and this is taken from BBC News on 30th of September in 2019. First, what is red meat? Red meat is commonly red in color when raw and a dark color after it's cooked. And then, for example, red meat includes beef, lamb. Next, processed meat is meat that has been preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or preservatives to extend its shelf life or change the taste. Research claims that this processed meat can cause cancer if we consume quite a lot. For example, in the UK, the processed meat leads to about 5,400 cases of bowel cancer every year, and links with heart health and type 2 diabetes have also been suggested. So the research shows that these processed meat are really bad for health. The scientists suggest that if 1,000 people cut out 3 portions of red or processed meat every week for a lifetime, there will be 7 fewer deaths from cancer, and if for 11 years, there will be 4 fewer deaths from heart disease. So the National Health Service advises anyone who eats more than 90 grams of red or processed meat a day to cut down to 70 grams a day on average. For example, we can only eat 5 tablespoons of cooked meats, half of a large burger, 5 slices of ham, and so on. The reason why I choose this news is because I found that this news is quite interesting because nowadays people almost every day consume red meat like beef and lamb and also processed food like hot dogs and ham. So I think that this news is quite important for us to have conscious that we should cut down the intake of red meat and processed food by taking the correct portions every day. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll start with my news. The news I've chosen is 5 natural ways to boost your mental health during stressful times, and it's written by Sandy Lamorte from CNN. It's published on November the 4th of 2020. The reason I choose this news is because the pandemic has affected everyone, not only physically, but from the mental aspect as well. Because of this, I would like to share some science-backed actions we can add on our own to ease anxiety, depression, and stress. One of the ways we can deal with stress is by exercising. According to this news, it increases blood circulation to the brain, particularly the amygdala and hippocampus, which controls our mood, meaning we can control our response to stress better. Besides, sleeping also boosts our mood. According to this news, the key is to go through enough sleep cycles to allow our body to repair itself. The article advises us to have a regular time for getting up in the morning, even on weekends. Next, we have deep breathing. According to stress management experts, learning breath work gives us the ability to psychologically calm ourselves. Research suggests cardiac coherence, where you inhale for 6 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds for a short period of time, is the best type of breath work. Another method that can help overcome stress is to take up yoga, tai chi, or qigong. Studies have found that tai chi and qigong increase blood levels of endorphins, reduce stress levels, and improve immune function, which is a key benefit in the age of coronavirus. Finally, meditation helps us overcome stress too. Researchers studied at the brains of Tibetan Buddhist monks recruited by the Dalai Lama found startling results. Tens of thousands of hours of compassionate meditation had permanently altered the structure and function of the monk's brain. However, it doesn't have to be the only way. Researchers found it only took 30 minutes a day of meditation to produce a measurable change in the brain. In my opinion, this news should be included in our news section because it not only sends out a meaningful message, but it is a much needed guide for us to prepare ourselves mentally for the pandemic. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabine. I'm going to share my screen right now. So the article is about COVID-19 takes toll on children and old folk. And it is from Malaysia Insight, which is published on 5th November 2020. So as we all know, the COVID-19 brought economic ruin and job losses, but besides that, it also affects one's mental health. From this article, youngsters and old folks are the most affected. Yeah, adults are also affected, but they are most likely to adapt to it and find channels to vent. A psychological counselor, Alice Lee, said that there has been a drastic increase in consultations since March, and her consultation increased at least 30 to 50%, and many of them are school children. Their concerns are if examination will proceed and other uncertainties. So what she's doing is arranging coordination between parents and schools. Alice does say that parents play important roles to act as the channel of communication for children. Other than that, senior citizens are also suffering, as well as some of them have no children and feeling lonely during pandemic time. They might commit suicide, so Alice urged us to carefully observe our seniors at home. We could try to ask ourselves about how we are feeling today and rate it. If we are feeling anxious, then maybe we can approach our family and friends. The reason I'm sharing this article is most people focus on economy of the country, but often neglected their family and close friends' mental health. I hope that this article could make people realize the mental health issue and ease their children or old folks' emotion. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamin. So I will share my screen now. Okay, as you all know, the nurses and doctors have put their effort in saving the lives of patients of COVID-19. So today I will share the news about COVID-19 might be causing PTSD, which is also known as pre-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety and depression among doctors and nurses, which is published on the Star newspaper on 31st of October 2020. So, according to recent research from the University of East Anglia in the United Kingdom, mental health problems such as post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression are common among healthcare staff during and immediately after pandemics. Researchers investigated how treating patients in past pandemics, such as SARS and MERS, affected the mental health of frontline staff. They found that almost a quarter of healthcare workers, 23.4%, experienced PTSD symptoms during the most intense acute phase of previous pandemic outbreaks, with 11.9% of carers still experiencing symptoms a year on. The data shows that nurses, doctors, allied health professionals, and all support staff based in hospital where patients with COVID-19 are treated are facing considerable pressure considerable pressure over a sustained period. Frontline staff also have to contend with threats to their own physical health through infection, especially during the shortages of essential personal protective equipment. So the reason why I selected this news is to expose the public about the hardship faced by the nurses, doctors, and health workers during this pandemic of COVID-19. Healthcare workers continue to devote their time and energy to contain this pandemic. Therefore, we should express our heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to all the frontliners and healthcare workers who might face mental health problems. That's all from me. So I hope you guys will consider my news to be published in our newspaper. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanhua. Please let me share my news now. Okay, so the topic of my news is avoiding inflammatory foods can lower heart disease and stroke risk. This is a research from American College of Cardiology that studies the connection between inflammation and heart disease through impact of inflammatory food consumption. Diets high in red and processed meat, refined grains, and sugary beverages, which have been associated with increased inflammation in the body, can increase subsequent risk of heart disease and stroke compared to diets filled with anti-inflammatory foods. A separate JACC study assessed the positive effects eating walnuts and anti-inflammatory food had on decreasing inflammation and heart disease risk. Using an empirically developed food-based dietary index to evaluate levels of inflammation associated with dietary intake, they found that the dietary patterns with higher inflammatory potential were associated with an increased rate of cardiovascular disease. The researchers suggest consuming foods with higher levels of antioxidants and fiber to help combat inflammation, such as green leafy vegetables, yellow vegetables, whole grains, coffee, tea, and wine. In another study, researchers assessed how incorporating walnuts into an individual's usual diet would improve inflammatory biomarkers. This means that increase in nut consumption will lead in less inflammation in the body. So from this article, we know that the importance of choosing the right food in our diet to maintain our body health. Indeed, this news spread awareness to the public, letting them to know that the heart disease and stroke can be prevented by avoiding inflammatory foods and increase the consumption in anti-inflammatory foods. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lichi. And the news that I want to share today is about the mental health effect of being quarantined for COVID-19. And this is the Star News and published on 17 March 2020. At the middle of March, our country locked down and started to implement MCO. During that time, we all are quarantined at home. But do you guys know about what the effect of our mental health during this time? In the new British research has shown quarantine could have a long-term effect on mental health. The findings show that the quarantine can produce a wide range of physiological effects, including post-traumatic stress symptoms, depression, feeling of confusion, and even substance misuse. This negative effect may affect people long term. Other factors that influence the level of physiological impact on those in quarantine included the length of time spent in quarantine, lack of basic supplies, and also a lack of quality information. After having been quarantined, losing money due to stopping work and the stigma around the disease were also linked to mental health problems. They are all information I get from this news. I choose this news because I know that during this time we pay a lot of attention to the statistic of COVID-19 every day. But we already ignore another serious problem, which is our mental health problem during this time. So I hope that I can take this opportunity to share this news so maybe some of us can alert to mental health, not only the statistic of COVID-19. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I would like to share my news. Okay, my topic is I took it from the website of Science Daily, and the topic is teen who participate in extracurricular activities get less screen time, have better mental health. It was dated on November 2nd, 2020, and the source is University of British Columbia. A new study from UBC researchers finds that teens, especially girls, have better mental health when they spend more time taking part in extracurricular activities like sports, art, and less time in front of screens. The study was published in the Journal of Preventive Medicine, found that spending less than 2 hours per day of recreational screen time was associated with higher level of satisfaction and optimism. This research was carried out by lead author of Eva Oberly, mentioned that this research was carried out before COVID-19, and it is very relevant now because we are using more time on our screens. The data for the study was drawn out from a population level survey involving 38,712 grade 7 students whom are the age of 13 from 365 schools in 27 school districts across British Columbia. The researchers examined the recreational screen time such as playing video games and watching television and so on. The highlight of the study findings include adolescents who participate in extracurricular activities were significantly less likely to engage in recreational screen-based activities for 2 or more hours after school. Taking part in extracurricular activities was associated with higher level of life satisfaction, optimism, and lower level of anxiety and depressive symptoms. Longer screen time is the opposite, which causes higher level of anxiety and depressive symptoms. Differences among boys and girls with longer screen time negatively affecting girls' mental health and more significantly than boys. Among both boys and girls, however, mental health was strongest when teens both participated in extracurricular activities and spent less than 2 hours on screen time. Hawley says that further research is needed to examine why the negative effects is giving a bigger impact on girls than boys. I chose this news because it was very relevant now since during this pandemic we are at home using our screens. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to share my news now. My news is 6 ways to boost your human growth hormone level naturally for better health. This news is from The Star on 2 November 2020 by Dr. Noor Asprin Mota. From the news, we can maintain a good health by increase the human growth hormone, which also commonly known as HGH. HGH is an important hormone that is produced in the pituitary gland that can help to regulate metabolic function and cell repair. So first, we should eat healthy. Eating healthy can optimize HGH production by keeping our body fat and insulin level in check. Second, we can have intermittent fasting. Based on the research, HGH level can increase by about 300% when we fast for at least 3 days. Third is to manage our insulin levels by watching our sugar intake, especially in night, to ensure our insulin level is low at night. Fourth is to doing high intensity exercising. And fifth is to increasing our arginine intake by taking more food that rich in arginine, such as red meat, seeds, nuts, and chickens. And last, we can boost our HGH level by getting deep sleeps. So in order to optimize our sleep cycle, we should go to bed about 2 hours but not less than 1 hour before midnight. So that's all from the news. From the news, we are able to get to know about the useful tips in boosting our human growth hormone for a better health. So I hope that this news can be inserted under our health section in our news publications so that the public can get to know about this useful information as well. So that's all for the news. So each and every one of us has shared our news. So now we need to decide on which 2 news to be included in our health sessions under our news publications. So is there any suggestions?
I would like to suggest Shari's news because it was very relevant and informative.
Okay, that's good. Is there any other suggestions?
I would like to suggest Wanhua News because it is the most popular issue for now.
Okay, I agree with it. So is there any other suggestions?
No, I agree with their suggestion.
I agree with them.
Okay, so if no, we will.
I agree with one hundred.
Okay, so we will choose Shavin and Manhua News under our help session in our news publications. So now we will need to decide which sessions to be discussed in our next group discussion video. So is there any suggestions?
I
I
suggest
think we
for
can.
food.
I suggest
Food.
food.
I
I agree.
I
Okay.
agree.
Okay,
Agree.
since majority of us agree to choose food sessions in our next group discussion video, so we'll discuss on food sessions in the next group discussion video. So is there any other questions?
No.
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 So if no, that's all for today group discussion meetings, and see you guys in the next group discussion. Bye.
Bye.